Hey everybody, I'm Andy Smith. I'm a 30-year comic book veteran, having worked for Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Image Comics, Cross Generation, Ominous Press. You name it, I've probably worked for them. And I do other things art-wise outside of comics in the field of advertising. I've also written some books on drawing comics you might have seen. Drawing American manga superheroes, Drawing Dynamic Comics was my first book. And I also did the handy little How to Draw Superhero sketchbook where all you need is a pencil because you do all the work right inside the book. Enough about that. This is the Book Look series. The Book Look series is where I grab a book off my library. You can see the tons of books I have behind me. And I go through it page by page with you so you can see if it's a book that you might want to buy. I like to know what I want to buy before I buy it, and I feel this is a way to give you some insight into these books. So join me for today's Book Look. Thanks. Hello everybody, this is Andy Smith, your host with the most, with this week's Book Look. As you can see, the only thing I can read on this cover is Alan Davis. Well, I guess I can read this dude's name. That's probably not even a name. So I take it back. Alan Davis, an Englishman in New York. This is, of course, a foreign book. It's a sketchbook, art book, biography, if you will. I can't read it. I never have, obviously. I've had it for years. But it's cool. And I just found it on my shelf and was like, this will make a nice book look. One thing, I don't know if you guys can tell, this cover is actually shot from his pencils. So this is not inked. It'd be cool if this was somewhere in the book that you could scan in, print out, practice a little inking on. But let's take a look through this book. It is square bound, perfect bound. I believe this was just a pinup of Nightwing and beautiful Starfire. I say that with a question because the way my brain works, I could be wrong. Let's see. This book came out in 2004 in October. So look at that. I'm practicing. I'm trying to read. What language is this? Let's see. Rewrite. Illustraciones. Okay. Is this Italian? Somebody in the chat will let me know if this is Italian. Oh, Eric Nolan Wethington. He works for Tomorrow's. Eric Nolan Wethington of Modern Masters Volume 1. Let's see. So, okay. If I understand this correctly, this is basically the interview. It says page 5. That's translation. So there you go. So if you have Modern Masters with Alan Davis, which I do, this beginning interview here from, I guess, page 5 to 71 is the interview for Modern Masters. But the one thing that I believe is different, I think this has some different art that wasn't in Modern Masters, because like I said, I've looked through both of them, or I own both of them. So that's pretty cool. It talks about his influences here. Frank Bellamy's, his work I do know, and I will say it is really nice. Nice work. And it's really early drawing a Warlock. So look at that. I cracked myself up. I've had this book probably for at least 15, 16 years. And I never knew that this interview was just the translation from Modern Masters. So there you go. I just remember getting this book and just looking through it going, well, I can't read it. I might as well just look at it. So I didn't even try to read the table of contents. Telly Savalas. Daredevil, that's not Clint Eastwood. Kirk Russell? Or no, Kirk Douglas, maybe? Oh, wait, here we go. Telly Savalas. Kirk Douglas is Daredevil. Dennis Collins is Star-Lord. Nice. If you know me, you know I love Megan and Captain Britain, two of my favorite characters, especially when they're drawn by Alan Davis. Just love that. I got onto the Alan Davis train way back first with Batman and Outsiders in the 80s, and then I backtracked it, found his Captain Britain stuff in the actual UK magazines at a comic shop. I don't own them all, but I own a good amount of them. And then even Miracle Man I got when I was a kid growing up. And I've been a fan ever since. I love his Miracle Man. Nice gymnastic type frame on the character. So much movement through Alan's stuff even back then. Oh no, he rips his mask off. It's Alan Moore. You know what? I might have to do a drawing of Miracle Man. I never have. Oh, and then of course, 2000 AD, he did this, these characters called DR and Quench. They actually collected that into a nice collection, a book, square bound. It's maybe 90 some pages. I mean, Alan's a guy who you can see he's influenced by like Neal Adams. He's influenced by Don Newton. These, I'm not sure what this is for. The Origin of the Crusader, story, plot, and art by Alan Davis, words by Paul Neary. Not sure what that was for. I don't even know if that's in the Modern Masters. I'll have to go back and look. Same with these two strips, the Crusader. It was published in Marvel's UK Rampage Monthly number 4. Okay. Boots and Glove. It's a nice name for a duo, a male-female duo. Here's some of the Outsiders pages. I tell you, the way he drew the Outsiders, I love Jim Aparo, but man, when Alan took over that, little known fact, Alan was supposed to draw that Aquaman miniseries that Craig Hamilton drew, and you can even see Alan did a sketch of Aquaman in that. Well, it's not colored, but you can tell it's in that blue and white costume that gives you the feeling that he's underwater. I really love that costume, and I tell you, I wish Alan would have drawn it. I love what Craig Hamilton did, but I think that just would have been the bee's knees, if you will. Alan did a nice story in a Batman black and white. Really did some nice rendering on it since it was only going to be printed in black and white. If you look at his Batman work, you can definitely see his influence of Neal Adams and Don Newton. Oh, here we go. So, oh, this was for the Dave Cockrum book. I own that book. It was a book to raise money for Dave. I'm actually looking at my bookshelf. I'll have to do a book look on that. There it is, The Uncanny Dave Cockrum. I own this book. So this was inked. I don't know by who, because it doesn't say here. Here you go, Jim Aparo, Don Newton, Neal Adams. Definitely talking about influences. But here is the pencils. I could scan that high res. That would be fun to print out in ink. Alan Davis is definitely one of those guys who, like I said, you can see his influences, but at the same time, he melds them all together so nicely that you just don't look at it like Tom Grinberg, right? When Tom broke onto the scene, you looked at his work and you're like, oh, this dude's a Neal Adams clone. And, you know, he worked a continuity. He did comics for Neal, so that's what you expect. But you can really see it in Tom's work. In Alan's work, you don't look at it and go, oh, Neal Adams or, oh, Don Newton. He pulls all these influences together so nicely into his own thing. And then, you know, when Brian Hitz first started, when he was, I think Brian Hitz started drawing comics professionally when he was like 18 or 19, you could tell he was super influenced by Alan Davis. And then obviously Brian is really influenced now by Kevin Nowlan, but still has a little bit of Alan Davis stuff. Nice 4-page cover here. Pull out cover. Clandestine, another great book that Alan did. Of course, I'm always partial to Excalibur. Back when Marvel did the movie adaptations, they got Alan Davis to do the first Spider-Man movie adaptation. If you don't have it, I highly recommend getting it. The likenesses aren't dead on, but you get a sense of who the actors were. And he might not have been able to, they might not have had the license for him to actually draw exact likenesses. And then with all the newest Marvel movies over the past decade, they wouldn't put out adaptations. They would do like, oh, here's a prequel to this movie. And I don't know. I didn't like those. I'd rather see an adaptation because I just think those are cooler. Jerry Ordway did the first Batman movie adaptation, which is just glorious. Here's a page from Justice League The Nail. There were 2 volumes of this, so you get to see Alan Davis draw the classic Justice League characters. Of course, he had multiple runs on X-Men, which was beautiful stuff. Oh, he did Aquaman covers back in the early 2000s when Pat Gleason was drawing the book. So you got some beautiful beautiful Pat Gleason artwork with some gorgeous Alan Davis covers. I love seeing these roughs. You just get such a nice sense. Alan is just so great at twisting the figure, doing great compositions. He's one of the few guys who draws the Thing. And even though he gives him some muscle definition, I think it really works. He also did covers for Green Lantern when they did the reprints in trade paperback form of the 90s Green Lantern stuff, going all the way up to Kyle. Oh my God, that's right. He did Flash covers when Mike Rwingo started on the book. So you got Mike Rwingo doing his first monthly work, which was really nice. Mike was one of those guys out of the gate that his work was fantastic. And, you got Alan on the covers. I got this trade paperback. I've got this book. I've got all his Excalibur stuff. I wish this was printed bigger, showing the lineup of characters in scale. That's cool. Legion of Superheroes covers. He did a 2-issue square-bound Legion of Superheroes story. I don't remember the title of. I don't even know if they show it in here. There you go. This Amazing Heroes I bought as a kid. This is a black and white fan magazine. And in the inside of this is where I saw the Aquaman sketches he did when he was supposed to do the series. And then, of course, they did another one where he just drew the ladies on the cover. This is what I mean, though. All these figures have such nice motion to them. Nice line of action. These are the Captain Britain magazines I was talking about. I really should try and complete my collection because, and I don't even know if that's all of them, but I own, I think, most of these. I should try and complete it, even though I have them all reprinted. This is really cool. Alan did the colors on this as well. This is from, I think this is the cover to his Modern Masters. I love this. It's colored. It looks like what Dr. Martin dyes. You can really, the way he colored the flesh on Killraven here is very Neal Adams-esque in the coloring with the dyes. Really nice. That was a pinup from a Green Lantern pinup book, obviously, right here. I think I have a pinup in that same book. Genesis is a book Ron Wagner and Joe Rubinstein drew the interiors for, but they had Alan Davis do the covers. It is cool interiors as well. Oh, here you go. Here are the Aquaman covers. This is, I think, one of the first ones he did. Love that cover. Nice, cool shot of Aquaman. I really like this cover too, where he's kind of trapped in this thing. I like seeing the pencils here and then the finish here. Great twist to the figure. Really twisting it, getting the action and movement in there. I remember reading an interview, and it might have been from the Modern Masters, where Alan said that when he first does his art, his sketches, he's really thinking about cartooning and not accuracy in regards to anatomy and stuff, because he really wants to get the motion across in his figure work. And then when he goes into the final stuff, he tightens it up more. These are the finished trade paperback covers for the 4 volumes. They did. Once again, looking up my bookshelf, I have a few of those with the Alan Davis covers, but not all of them. Like the first one is Green Lantern, The Road Back, which is this one. And I don't have the Alan Davis cover. I've got the original trade paperback of it, or it's this one. I don't remember. Of course, here we go, Batman and Outsiders. Man, I remember buying these off the rack when I was a kid. I don't think he did art in this. I think he just did the cover. Geo-Force and Halo, 2 of my favorite characters. That's right, I like the B-list characters. So Sumi. Great Killraven miniseries he did there. He wrote it and penciled it. He even makes Superman with a mullet look good. Another cover only here for this Silver Age 80-page giant. I don't think I own that because he just did the cover. Just going through. So like I said, if you want to read this, it's reprinted or it's originally printed in Modern Masters. I think Alan Davis was the first Modern Masters book, Volume 1, but I think this shows more artwork than the Modern Masters book does. Look at that, he's got a little Luke and Leia action going on there. This is page 71. This is new, so this I haven't read. Nice shot of the Avengers there. Even though I kind of would like to see his Captain America just a little bit more bulky. You know, his Thor's nice and big. Iron Man looks about the same size as Cap. And I think Cap should be bigger than Iron Man, but not as big as Thor. But hey, it's Alan Davis. So, you know, it's cool. He even did a job. Oh, I totally forgot. He did this science fiction job. That's what these panels are right here. Called Kraken's Wake, that was printed in Penthouse Comics. There's like no new, this story in Penthouse Comics could just be printed anywhere. There's no like nudity or anything. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Maybe adult themes. I'm not exactly sure. And then I think the rest of this book, we're just diving into some sketchbook stuff. So we could see a nice full pencil page, cover sketches. Remember seeing this, just loving this. I love this big character. I can't remember his name, but he's from Clandestine. Like this dude too. He's kind of a creeper-esque character. Oh, what's going on here, Mr. Davis? Killraven, of course, great series. That'd be a fun book to have. Alan Davis, something. Yeah, I can't read it. Talking about, I guess, different books he worked on. Batman, Excalibur, great Wolverine one-shot that he did. Paul Neary was his longtime inker, and then Mark Farmer. Him and Mark Farmer hooked up, and then recently he did what I think is one of Marvel's best books for this past year. He did an Avengers miniseries written by Paul Levitz of DC fame this past year, and Alan inked it himself, and I think it is awesome. I know some people weren't fond of his inking because it wasn't as slick as Mark Farmer, but I really liked it. I thought the little bit of roughness to it was really nice. So I think these are just commissions right here that he did. Inked by Robin Riggs. This is cool. I wish this was printed bigger, maybe in Modern Masters. It is Superman and Thor, inked by Dave Gibbons. So that's a team up you don't normally see. And then we get to the back of it. And that's about it. We do have a checklist here. Would you look at that? I guess he did a cover for Star Wars Devil Worlds, Classic Star Wars Devil Worlds #1. So that's something I never knew about. Yeah, and there you have it. So that is this book look for the week. You know, I guess you don't really need to find this unless you're such an Alan Davis fan. You've got to have all that extra art. The main interview in this book is in Modern Masters Volume 1, so go get that. And that'll do it. Thank you very much. Guys, my new campaign to bridge the gap between Core Draft Volume 1 and Core Draft Volume 2, which will launch next year, is Nice and Tight, the pencil art of Andy Smith. 52 pages of just pure, raw, tight pencils I did for other publishers. You get to see these pencils the way the inker saw them and the editor. Other than that, not many people have seen them. It's a peek behind the curtain at the creative process, looking at full pencils that I did. There's great other perks on the campaign as well. Check it out. Go back it. I love you all. I thank you so much for your support. It's because of you guys that I am able to do this stuff. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program. Back it today.